This year Combo Breaker was really trying to tell people to sign up early for their tournaments. The registration cost has gone up, and they say, hey, register early this year. Well, the message worked. This place is getting real fucking big. This is a big tournament. And that kind of segues into what I wanted to talk about today, which is people ask me all the time, hey, I want to travel to one fighting game tournament or two fighting game tournaments this year, or I'm going to go to like one regional and then like one major tournament. What should I go to? I feel like I give this speech a lot, and I talk to people about what tournament they should go to quite often. But like, look, it's dependent on a few things: where you're from, what games you play, and what kind of experience you're looking for. If you're in Chicago or the Midwest already, Combo Breaker is very close to you. It just makes sense. Like for me, I live in SoCal, so most of the people I know can just drive to EVO. It's like a 3 or 4 hour drive. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to EVO. It's just what other tournament I'm gonna go to or something, right? It's something that you can consider. So first, you need to think about where you are and the cost or additional expenses that go into you going to one of these tournaments. The other thing is you have to think about what kind of event experience you're looking for. When it comes to Combo Breaker, is like a festival appeal. If you have a game that's at Combo Breaker, I highly recommend you to go. It's an event that cares about the players first and foremost. And if you want an event where you go and you feel like the event organizers really care about your event experience, that's the place to be. And if you want to just play tons and tons of games and matches and hang out with your friends, I can highly recommend Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is a festival experience. That's what I would describe it as. You go there, you check out all these random acts, right? Games that are around there on all the different stages and everything. And you really feel like you are catered to as an attendee for whatever game you're interested in. Tons of casuals, tons of matches. Really, really easy tournament to go to and enjoy. The other big one that people recommend is CEO. CEO is like a spectacle, right? Not in the same way that EVO is a spectacle, because I'll describe them both the same way. But if you're a wrestling fan, it's hard to deny the appeal of an event like that. Seeing the intros and the music and the belts and stuff like that, that is one thing that people love about CEO. Same thing with CEO Taku, right? The anime version is the same kind of idea. It's a fun, definitely very fun, cool themed event that they do. It's not as tightly run ship as Combo Breaker, but it is pretty well put together as an event compared to most other events, I would say. You go there for that spectacle. EVO is like its own experience entirely. The big thing about EVO is if your game is on the roster, it is worth considering going, especially, I think, for the finals day experience. For that kind of spectacle, for how big it is, the prestige of it is very interesting. But you're going to deal with a lot of headaches. There's a shit ton of people. You're going to spend lots and lots of time trying to walk to and from the venue. It takes forever. The lines for all the merch and for all like the booths and stuff, there's going to be a shit ton of people. Like it really is more of like a fighting game con in some areas than it is like a fighting game tournament sometimes. It's a big event. You're going to feel the number of people when you're there. So those are the three big ones in the US that people always ask me about. What advice would you give someone who goes to CB strictly to spectate? I mean, you'll have a great time even if you go to spectate the games. In fact, if you go only to spectate, I encourage you to walk around and check out as much stuff as you can. And even if you're going to spectate or whatever, like the venue's open 24 hours. You can always walk around and play games or whatever if you're interested in that kind of stuff. If you just want to check out the venue and everything and see how it goes, I encourage you to check out the finals you're interested in and walk around and take a peek at all the different stages and everything. That's what I advise. You should realize that going to tournaments or events like this is not just about competing, right? It's not just about the competitive aspect of it, but it's what you get as an attendee for every other hour of the day you're there. When you go to a tournament, your pool will be 2 hours long. It's a 2-hour section. Then your next out of pools thing will be a 2-hour section. Then your semis is 2 hours. The top 8 is 2 hours, right? That's 8 total hours if you make it the top 8. That's it. There's the rest of the weekend. There's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a lot to do besides just playing the tournament. So you have to think about what your experience will be like outside of that. I was thinking of going to Combo Breaker, but I don't have any friends to go with. First and foremost, I would look in stuff like Discords for your region. I would look at locals and see if anybody in your area, your local or regional, is going to Combo Breaker. Try to find some people that you maybe play games with online that you know are going to go to the tournament, or people that are like in Discords or locals or regionals around you that are going to go to the event. Even if you don't have anybody to like specifically hang out with, you'll realize pretty quickly that you will meet people at the event who you're cool with, who you can play games with. If you're at like, you go out to eat, there'll be people who are fighting game people around there. There's like, there's going to be people everywhere, and all those people are just fighting game fans. You'll probably have a good time, and they'll be cool. They'll be like, hey man, it was really fun playing. Like, what's your name? And you guys will, you'll see each other. And maybe when you later on, when you're going to watch top 8, they'll be there, and you'll be like, oh, you mind if I sit there? They're like, yeah, dude, come hang out. We're watching top 8. You want a beer? We snuck them in. And you're like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? That's just kind of like the experience you'll get when you're at the finals or whatever. Yeah, that's what it's about when you go to events, meeting people and making relationships like that, and that kind of stuff. And then going home and trying to play them online, and if that game has rollback netcode, you guys can play, and if not, well, see you next combo breaker. Sneak in beers. Last year I saw people literally carrying cases into the venue. It's the Midwest, like what do you expect, right? I mean, come on. Can you explain the mystery tournament, why I want to join? The mystery game tournament is every round in the tournament there will be a new game introduced, pre-selected by the mystery game tournament organizers. And so each round you'll be playing something brand new. Sometimes you won't know what the game is. You'll never have heard of it. Sometimes it's something retro, something new, something weird. One year, the mystery game finals was Don't Break the Ice. The like board game where you're tapping on the ice to like remove spaces. Who fucking knows what you're going to get in the mystery game tournament? The reason people like it is that it's like such a random mashup of different games. And the enjoyment of it is entering mystery and playing random shit each round and watching just this clusterfuck of people not even knowing what the game is and trying to win in a 2 out of 3 against somebody else who doesn't know what the fuck's happening. So you guys are just trying to find whatever cheap shit you can in 2 minutes and then play against each other in a set and move on in the bracket. It's always fun, goofy, laid back experience. The other big thing for Combo Breaker is auction tournaments. Auction tournaments are where like they sell teams or like characters, and they do it in like a fun way, and you bid on the character. So let's say you're in the crowd and you play King and Tekken. Someone's like, all right guys, and the character we're selling next is multi-throw. And you're like, that's King. It's gotta be King. It's multi-throw. But it could be Armor King, could be Nina. It could be plenty of other characters that have a multi-throw available to them. So you're bidding on this character against other people who play it, and you don't even know exactly what it is. Sometimes they'll just tell you who it is. And sometimes there's a gimmick to the event, like a team game where they say in Dragon Ball, it's team too short to ride or something like that. And it's like Krillin, Go Tanks, and like, GT Goku or something. Always really fun. They're always a spectacle as well. How do you get the most out of your first major as a competitor? Well, if you haven't, you should go to some locals and regionals around you first to get an idea of what you're getting into. But your first major, my advice is the same as always. Show up, ready to play in your pool, and have a plan for once the pool is over. What do you want to do? I would look at the schedule and figure out what games you want to watch. Say you're really interested in watching semis for this game and top 8 of this game and semis for this game. Figure out where those places are and go watch those things. Crowd around the pool areas, watch the good matches in pools. Bring a stick, even when you're out of the tournament. Have a stick so that you can play casuals. If you see someone playing a character that you don't fight against that much, show up and be like, hey, you want to play some games? Go play people in casuals. Hit the shops. If you ever have wanted to customize your stick in any way, the shops at events are usually a much easier choice than online because the stuff is there. And they have all the buttons, all the sticks, all the ball tops. This is the one place you can go and get your hands on these things without like having to just order them online and be like, wow, I hate these buttons. You could walk up to like the Arcade Shock booth or whatever, right? You'll see Gary Kuso there. You'll show up to there'll be this big dude. He's going to be standing there. He's going to be like, what's up? Now, when you walk up and you see Gary Kuso, you have to know that he's a big fan of Kamen Rider, which is a little different than the Lightning Rider. Kamen Rider or Gokai Ranger. I'll ask him about Gokai Ranger at Super Arcade, and you'll know I sent you. So then you'll ask him, you'll be like, hey, what do you think about these buttons? What do you think about these levers? What do you think about this? What do you think about this on this stick? And he'll be like, well, this is what I think about this. This is what I think about that. They can install all the parts for you if you're worried that you're going to fuck something up. They'll hook it up. Those guys are great. Go early and get your stick, changed or modded however you want. And if there's any kind of issue, right, that they made a mistake, which is pretty rare, but if there's any kind of issue with their mod or whatever, take it back to them and explain it, or message them and then they'll tell you what went wrong or whatever happened. I love Gary Kuso. He's a legend. His car is anime wrapped. I saw him on the freeway not that long ago, and I was like, why the fuck is that car anime wrapped with arcade sticks on it? And I was like, oh shit, it's Gary Kuso. Known that guy for forever.